Hello coin lovers and history seekers. Welcome back to Unique Old Coin, your go-to channel for fascinating coin stories, hidden values, and rare finds. Today, we're diving deep into the story of the Canada 1-cent coin from 1976, a humble copper coin that has more history and collector interest than you might imagine. Whether you found it in an old jar, inherited it, or picked it up at a flea market, this video will reveal everything you need to know, from its history to its current value, and how to know if yours could be worth more than just a penny. Let's step back in time to the mid-1970s. Canada was celebrating a growing economy, Pierre Trudeau was Prime Minister, and the Canadian penny, officially called the 1-cent coin, was still a key part of everyday transactions. The 1976 1-cent coin belongs to the Elizabeth II Second Portrait Series, which began in 1965. On the obverse, or front, of the coin, you'll see the young profile of Queen Elizabeth II, facing right, designed by Arnold Machin. This portrait was used from 1965 until 1989. On a reverse, or back, you'll find the iconic two maple leaves on a single twig, designed by George Kruger Gray. This design had been used on Canadian pennies since 1937 and became one of the most recognized symbols of Canadian coinage. The 1976 penny was made of 98% copper, 0.5% tin, and 1.5% zinc. It weighed 3.24 grams and measured 19.05 millimeters in diameter. Unlike later years when the penny shifted to a copper-plated zinc composition, this one has the classic heavy copper feel. In 1976, the Royal Canadian Mint produced almost 701 million of these pennies. They were struck at the Ottawa Mint, and because so many were made, they were common in circulation for decades. However, not all of them survived in good condition, and that's where collector interest comes in. Now, let's talk about value. Most 1976 pennies you find in circulation are worth just 1 cent to 5 cents due to their high mintage. But collectors look for certain factors that can make yours more valuable. 1. Condition. Grade coins with no scratches, no wear, and full original red luster are far more desirable. These are called mint state coins. 2. Errors and varieties. Look for misstrikes, double dies, or off-center strikes. Rare minting errors can push the value much higher. 3. Uncirculated or proof-like coins. These were never meant for public use and often have a beautiful mirror-like finish. They can sell for several dollars. 4. Toning. Natural rainbow toning from years of storage can sometimes add value if it's attractive to collectors. So, how much is a Canada 1-cent 1976 worth today? Here's a general guide. Circulated condition. 1 cent to 5 cents. Uncirculated. Mint state 60 to 63 *** around $1 to $2 high grade, MS65 or better *** $5 to $15 or more rare error coins *** depending on the type. Anywhere from $20 to over $100. The copper content also gives it a small intrinsic metal value. With copper prices today, each coin's melt value is roughly 2 to 3 cents. If you think your 1976 penny is special, here's what to do. Examine it under good lighting with a magnifying glass. Look for strong luster and absence of wear. Check for any odd features like doubled letters or a missing design detail. Store high-grade coins in a protective flip or holder to avoid scratches. And if you're unsure, you can have it graded by a professional coin grading company. That way you'll know exactly what you have. So there you have it, the story of the Canada 1-cent 1976. It's a small coin, but it carries a rich history and still sparks joy among collectors. Whether yours is just pocket change or a rare gem depends on the details. It was a time of transformation. Pierre Elliott Trudeau was Prime Minister, leading the country through a decade of social changes, debates on national identity, and economic adjustments after the post-war boom. Inflation was on the rise, and yet the humble 1-cent coin, the Canadian penny, still had real purchasing power. Back then, you could buy candy, gum, or even a newspaper for just a handful of pennies. The penny itself had already been part of Canadian life since 1858, but the design we see on the 1976 coin has roots going back to 1937, when artist George Kruger Gray created the famous two maple leaves on a single twig reverse design. The maple leaf, of course, is a proud symbol of Canada, representing both unity and the country's natural beauty. This design became so iconic that it stayed on the penny for over 70 years with only small changes. On the obverse, the front, we see the young portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, facing right, wearing a tiara. This portrait was designed by British sculptor Arnold Machin in 1964, and it replaced the earlier portrait by Mary Gillick. The Mackin portrait is known for its elegant simplicity and was used on Canadian coins from 1965 until 1989. The 1976 penny was struck at the Royal Canadian Mint in Ottawa, a facility with a long history dating back to 1908. By the mid-70s, the Mint had fully embraced modern minting technology, allowing them to produce coins with high precision and in massive quantities. In terms of metal composition, the 1976 penny is a true copper coin, 98% copper, 0.5% tin, and 1.5% zinc, weighing 3.24 grams and measuring 19.05 millimeters across. This gave it a solid, almost warm feel in the hand, something that later copper-plated zinc pennies lacked. The high copper content also means that even today, it has a small intrinsic metal value beyond its face value. That year, an impressive 700, 658, 334 pennies were minted. The large mintage was necessary because pennies were still heavily used in daily transactions, unlike today where they've been completely retired from circulation. Interestingly, 1976 falls into a period when the Canadian penny was not just money, but also a cultural fixture. Children collected them in jars, charity drives encouraged people to donate spare pennies, and the coin often appeared in school lessons about Canadian money. The penny also became a keepsake for many Canadians, a symbol of small beginnings and simple times. The design and the material of the 1976 penny place it in the pre-modern era of Canadian coinage, just before significant changes began in the 1980s. It's one of the last decades where all 1-cent coins were still pure copper, a tradition that would end in 1997 when the Mint switched to cheaper compositions due to rising copper costs. While the coin itself may seem ordinary because of its huge mintage, its connection to Canada's economic history, its iconic design, and the enduring legacy of the copper penny make the 1976 issue an important piece in the timeline of Canadian coinage. If you want, I can now merge this extended history into your full-long YouTube script so it flows smoothly from history into value and condition, making the whole video even more engaging. That way, you'll have the full upgraded script ready for upload. Now let's talk about one of the most important factors in determining the value of your Canada 1 cent 1976, its condition in coin collecting. The word condition refers to how well a coin has survived since it was minted. Over time, coins pass through countless hands, pockets, cash registers, and even washing machines, and every little bump, scratch, and rub leaves a mark. These marks, along with changes in color and shine, help tell the coin's life story. Collectors use a standardized grading scale to describe a coin's condition. This ranges from poor P1, where the design is barely visible, all the way up to mint state, MS70, which is a perfect coin with no flaws visible even under magnification. Let's break it down. Asterisk in this range. The coin has heavy wear. The Queen's portrait may look flat, the maple leaves might have lost most of their detail, and the edges could be worn smooth. These coins have little to no collector value beyond their face or metal value. The major details are still visible, but there's clear wear. You can still see the maple leaf veins faintly, and the Queen's hair outline is there, but much of the fine detail is gone. These are still common and worth only a few cents. The design is much sharper, with only moderate wear on the highest points. The maple leaf edges are clear, the Queen's hair shows good detail, and the rim is still defined. These coins might fetch a small premium from collectors. These coins have just a trace of wear, usually on the highest points of the design. They still have much of their original mint luster, which is the shiny finish coins have when they're brand new. This is where serious collectors get excited. Mint state coins were never used in circulation, so they still look almost exactly as they did when they left the mint in 1976. They have full luster, no wear, and only tiny imperfections like small bag marks from the minting process. Animus 65 coin will have sharp details, brilliant luster, and eye appeal. An MS 67 or higher is incredibly rare for a coin of this age and could be worth many times more than lower grades. Many people think cleaning a coin will make it more valuable. Unfortunately, cleaning often leaves tiny scratches and removes the natural patina, which actually lowers its value. Collectors prefer coins in their original, unaltered state. Toning **** over time, copper coins like the 1976 penny can develop a natural layer of color called toning. This can be brown, reddish, or even rainbow-like. Attractive, even toning can add to the coin's appeal, but dark or splotchy toning may reduce its desirability. Storage *** coins stored in dry, temperature-controlled environments, like coin flips, holders, or albums, tend to remain in better condition than coins left loose in drawers or jars. Mint errors ***. If your coin has a minting error but is also in great condition, it can be worth even more because both factors increase rarity. In short, the better the condition, the more collectors are willing to pay. That's why a circulated 1976 penny might be worth only a few cents, while a perfectly preserved mint state example could sell for several dollars, and rare high-grade coins or error pieces can go for much more if you want.